So, you want to run the Essentials Kit adventure Dragon of Icespire Peak, but you don't have time to read the book or never learned to read in the first place. Well, then let me explain it as quickly as I can. Spoilers, obviously. Chapter what? Oh, there's no chapter numbers. Never mind then. Running the adventure. If this is your first time dungeon mastering, the adventure gives you express permission to forget everything, including the rules, and just make things up as you go. Now, on to the adventure. The dragon Cryovane came down from the north to claim a new home. This new home already had residents, but that was solved with a few good cold breaths. Now, a nearby town and its surrounding areas are dealing with monsters displaced by the dragon, as well as the dragon itself if you roll a 14 on the dragon GPS table. Speaking of the town, it's called Phandalin. It's a small mining town built on the ruins of another mining town, which I assume was built on the ruins of another mining town with mining towns all the way down. Be sure to point the party towards the board that points them towards the talking door that points them towards the adventure quests. Those quests include messaging dwarves, getting a wizard starter pack from gnomes, and evicting a woman for her own protection. The rest of the adventure is locked until 2 of those quests are completed, at which point you can remove the training wheels and let the party go to a butter ranch, escort some supplies, and escort a miner. Then remove the entire bicycle when the party goes to fight ghouls, a stalker, and boar mages. Also, maybe they should kill that dragon that's been flying around, although the party might encounter it as early as level 1, in which case killing the dragon may not be on the priority list. Axeholm. This was a dwarf fortress until a prisoner died, screamed so hard other people died, and then those dead people started making more dead people. Now the town master wants the undead Karen, her pack of ghouls, a few spiders, and 2 weird-looking chimney bats cleared out to make a fallout shelter. This shelter is more than half a marathon away from the town that would use it, which seems a bit far to run in a town-destroying emergency. Butterskull Ranch. An old man made skulls out of butter. Orcs showed up and started making skulls out of actual human skulls. It's up to the party to get rid of the orcs and bring back a beloved cow, which is not a euphemism for the farmer's wife. Circle of Thunder. Here, some half-borks try to summon a storm or a boar. If the party kills the summoners and their god boar, the reward is nothing, since no one told them about the treasure buried in some random cave dirt. Dragon Barrow. Time for the party to take a dragon-slaying sword from its owner. It would be stealing, but the sword's owner died fighting a dragon. This would reflect poorly on the sword, but the dragon died too. Whoever wields it may hope for a better outcome, but hey, it's not a survive a dragon-slaying sword. Dwarven Excavation. Here, a temple was constructed to a god of greed. Mild shock, the god of greed got greedy, covered the temple in snow, and made everyone into jelly. Now, 2 dwarves have dug up the place and want to plunder it for treasure. The party is here to clear out the jelly, preferably by spreading it on toast, without thinking about how the jelly used to be people. Eventually, orcs will show up demanding the treasure for themselves, because no one seems to have learned the right lesson from the greed god jelly incident. Falcon's Hunting Lodge. When nobles want to go camping, this is where they go to make sure they don't get eaten by bears. Falcon, a ranger that hates orcs enough to use their heads as decoration, will reward the party some boots for completing a quest they haven't even been given yet, but don't worry, you and the players will definitely remember that reward after you finish the campaign. Gnomegarde. 2 gnome kings, though there are only about 20 gnomes, so king is a bit of a stretch, are locked in a room after one of them saw a barrel and went insane. While chasing down this barrel, the party can get whimsical, squeeze into a crab mech, meet a trigger-happy woman with a crossbow machine, and try to pass the Turing test. Once the barrel is dealt with, the party can meet the king that glued the other king to a chair. When they tell the unglued king that the barrel is dead, his insanity is cured, because in fantasy, mental health issues can be that easy to resolve. Icespire Hold. This is it, the climactic battle against Cryovane. Everything has been leading up to this battle, although most of that everything is laid out later, but oh, once you read it, this will be so climactic. For the party to find this climactic battle location, they'll need to have a vision, get a prisoner, or pray hard enough for a ghost rider to show up. At some point, the party can take a secret toboggan in the crypt down the mountain. Whether that's to celebrate their victory, run in fear, or just be buried in the snow is up to how well they avoided becoming meat popsicles. Loggers Camp. A group of loggers used to live here, cut down trees, and avoid taxes. Now it's the site of a trimmer's reenactment. Mountain Toes Gold Mine. On their way to escort Dungeon to this mine, the party will come across dead orcs that were killed by a dragon, foreshadowing Cryovane's appearance. See, look at this build-up to the future previously laid out climax. When the party arrives at the mine, they will be escorted inside by 2 were-rats in disguise. They will then meet more were-rats in disguise and discuss why the were-rats won't leave the mine, even though the party has no idea that these are were-rats at this point. If the were-rats want to be miners, there's not even a conflict here, unless of course they want to unionize, in which case the mine's owner, I assume, would like them removed. Shrine of Savras. Barbarians attacked a town and the townspeople escaped to this shrine. The townspeople brought all their gold and none of their weapons, which seems like a great way to be attacked again. Which they were. If the party wants the gold, they will need to get past a few orcs and a few ogres, then discover the townspeople really took hiding their wealth far more seriously than their survival. Also, if someone touches the shrine altar, it will turn on the dragon camera, but if they touch it too hard, they will find a key. Tower of Storms. This lighthouse attracts ships and the Great Gatsby, with the ships ending up the same way Gatsby did, except without requiring you to write an essay afterwards. The party can speak to a giant crab that will give nondescript magic item to anyone that helps the dead master conk out. After being accosted by harpies, which is a nice way to say attempted murder, the party can touch another altar. This one gives lightning powers, but only for a free trial period. They can then fight a heartless, shock themselves, and blind themselves. If they want to avoid all that, they can loot shipwrecks that are way too close to shore for no one to have survived them, though the nearby sharks are not helping survival rates. Umbrage Hill. On the hill, the party can buy potions of healing after driving off a manticore with a simple bribe. But if you give a mouse a cookie, it's going to come back with its girlfriend for a glass of milk. Woodland Manse. A mage once lived here. Now it's a ruin populated by boars and people in boar cosplay. The party can find an elf on the shelf made out of hate, a Gulthias tree, and a half-orc conducting a ritual in hopes of smiting a building. If the party interrupts the ritual and tries to leave, half-orcs will attempt to bore them to death. If the party escapes, the half-orcs will retaliate by attacking an entirely different group of people with a god boar because they really want to smite that building. Ending the adventure. Adventure's over, everybody, go home. Hopefully there'll be a feast for defeating the dragon that happened half a book ago. There's a handful of recommended adventures to follow up this one, which is shameless self-promotion on Wizards of the Coast part, but you can check out the videos I've made on those adventures as shameless self-promotion on my part. Now you know how to run Dragon of Icespire Peak. Share this with someone you don't think can read. Have a nice day, and try not to die in a TPK. Goodbye. Also, like and subscribe and hit the bell.